This is me, Mike, son of Lemuel, father of Benjamin, and this is the sacred chili making that we'll be going through, the sacred Texas red chili making. This is what kept all the Texans alive at the Alamo until the Mexicans came and killed them. But, you know, this is important history. Till that time, Texans ate nothing but chili, and this is how they did it. Yeah. Some of them still eat nothing but chili. About 5.5 pounds of lean beef here. Yeah, we're gonna cut up. We got some chuck style ribs here, and we got some round up roast, you know, whatever you come up with a chili. These are nice chili pods. See how nice and rosy they are. Dried, they're basically ripe poblanos that are dried. You got green poblanos, jalapenos, and some other hot chilies that we might use. And onion, garlic, salt, and pepper, and cumin. Cumin. You can smell the cumin. Smell it here. Smell. Anyway, these are the basic. We're not gonna use all this, of course. We're gonna use all these ingredients, but not this much of it. We will use all this meat and a whole lot of these peppers, but not all of them. So we're gonna do 4 jalapenos. I say 3, I meant 4. Let's scrape the seeds out.
Don't touch your eyes.
Oh, that's an old wives' tale. If you're sensitive to peppers, you gotta be careful how you handle them. But then again, who's sensitive to peppers? Really? Oh, I did not see you. This is poblano peppers. We got like 6 cups of onions here cut up. Of course, you know. That's just 2 big onions. The amount is not important. It's however you like. But everything gets cut coarse at this point. All the green chilies and stuff. Because they're all going to cook down to nothing. See, I just cut the ends off these poblanos and pop the little seed things out. And then those ends will go back in too. These are Brazilian starfish peppers. This is my first year to grow them. Brazilian starfish peppers, because they look like little starfish. Yeah, and but they're about the same heat as a jalapeno. Here's a good one. But they're sweet. They have a sweetness to them. Yeah. This is a scorpion pepper. The oil. And now it all looks like it's half the pot, but it won't be in a little while. So this all got to cook down for a while, so we'll come back later. Some salt and pepper in here at this point. You know. You get the smell. Oh yeah. You're gonna cover now. Let it sit for a minute. You're gonna cook for a while. Cook on down. Down. I'm gonna add a little olive oil here too. This is California olive oil. Don't get any ideas now. This is Texas chili. Yeah. We're just gonna let that cook on down a little more before we add our meat to it. Now we're gonna smash up the garlic. You take your typical onyx garlic stone. Everybody's got one of these. Come right out like that. Make it the dog's bark. Get the little one off.
How much garlic are you going to use?
A bunch.
Like 2 heads? 1 head?
Oh, I don't know. There'll be a bunch before it's all over with. It's a big part of the flavor. And the stuff you start with in the beginning all cooks down to nothing and loses some of its flavor, but it becomes all part of the broth. And you can add more toward the end to get more of the fresh garlic flavor. But, you know, you start adjusting the seasonings toward the end the way you like them. But in the beginning, so much of this is going to cook down that really, it's hard to use too much garlic. We got to throw some of our garlic in there too. Like I say, all this stuff's going to cook down into nothing, into a broth eventually. But it's going to be a rich broth. I'm going to go ahead and throw a little bit of cumin. I'll put cumin along the way too in different stages of the game. You see, high oil. Smell that.
Smell that.
You know, about that much.
About that much. A couple of tablespoons.
See, it's going down. It's cooking down. Let's cover that back up for a while. Texas chuck style ribs. I like fairly lean meat in my chili. You know, you don't need all that fat.
Because you're into fitness.
Well, it just makes the chili greasy, so you don't want a greasy chili. You want a certain amount, but not too much. And so I like to cut off some of that fat. I'll get the dog to help me figure out what to do with that. But the chunks of beef, well, will be kind of big like that, you know, because they're going to cook down. And that's one of those areas right there where the tough tendon is. These are going to cook down, and when you get around to eating them, they'll be smaller chunks, and a lot of this will have turned into the broth, you know. That's what's the best thing about chili is the broth in the end. All that good stuff together in one big broth.
It's a bottom round rump roast?
Yeah, but you know, you can use any kind of meat really that's fairly lean. I bought some of these because of the fact that they were on sale, and there's a lot of lean meat in them. You know, once you get this layer of fat off, there's a lot of lean meat in there. Below that cap of fat is nothing but lean meat. Not really important how you cut it up because they're going to cook for a while and they're going to get tender no matter which direction you cut them. See, this is...
Don't touch the pot handle because it's hot.
This is our pepper and onions that have been cooking down in this wonderful broth. This is actually a very tasty broth on its own. Yeah, that's free. You know, if you were vegetarian, you could taste that and it would be really good.
Oh, good.
Now,
That's yummy.
I'm just going to put that meat in there. And that's going to cook like that for a while. Stir that up. Don't ask me about the beans, because if you know beans about chili, you know that chili has no beans. That's the words of Kent Finley, the San Marcos songwriter. You know beans about chili, you know chili has no beans. This is probably about 30 minutes into after we added the meat. See that nice rich gravy coming up there? The meat's cooking that nice rich gravy. And now it's a brown gravy. Look at that. Oh yeah. Need salt and cumin. I need about how much more cumin? You know, that's about that amount, you know.
Yeah. It's like 3 tablespoons.
And then you got this amount of salt you want to put in there.
About a tablespoon.
That's what my measuring said. Oh yeah. It's just a beautiful red pepper. How translucent that is. Yeah, that's a good one.
You're washing out the seeds?
Uh-huh. I'm just washing out the seeds, getting a little more pliable before they go in the water. Water and garlic. Not a whole lot of water, just some water. I'm gonna take a few of these. I'll tell you how many after I get through here. Good ones like this, you know, it's nice to take a bite of them. This is a really sweet one. I mean, really taste that.
Is it spicy?
No. It's really sweet.
No, it's good. It's smoky.
Mm-hmm. It's got that beautiful chili color to it. Look at that. The sunlight coming through. Isn't that
That's
pretty?
pretty. Looks like a bat wing.
Mm-hmm. This is so much better than chili powder. You know, most chili you see they just use the chili powder, and it's just made from this, you know. These are the ancho dried chilies. You know, you can use the New Mexico type, but we're making Texas red chili. You know, which is the ultimate in red chili. Yeah. And don't let anybody from Mississippi tell you any differently.
Can you spell Mississippi?
Yeah, it's a Georgia.
Georgia?
Oh, look, same thing. I can use as much of this after I make it into a paste as I want to. I don't have to use it all. Because I'm going to steam this with the garlic and the salt, and I'm going to blend it. And then it's going to essentially be like enchilada sauce that you might find in New Mexico or something, you know. It's just pepper and garlic and salt. But that's going to be the pepper base for the chili. Put that on there for a while until it softens up. It's got to soften up.
It's got to soften up.
Yeah, okay. Alright. I'm going to clean this mess up. These are the peppers and the garlic that I'm steaming. I'm letting them soften up, you know. You see how nice and soft.
Do you only steam them for what, like 5-10 minutes?
Oh, I boiled them for a few minutes. I added a little water during the process, but see, that's they're all soft now, along with the. I'm gonna blend those in a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna put this pepper and garlic stuff into the blender here. Add a little water to that. Start out with what amounts to a couple of cups of this stuff. This is my beautiful puree. Oh, the chili. Let's open the door and step outside. Beautiful puree of chili. Look at that. Now that's New Mexico enchilada sauce here. This is rehydrated chili peppers with garlic and salt. The red in the Texas.
Use the pot holder.
The red in the Texas red. The whole red in the Texas red. Now it's getting to look like red chili, see? See what I was saying earlier about all those onion stuff, they just disappear, they just all cook down. This is just like being out on the wagon train. Yeah, you gotta remember to bring your blender when you go on the wagon train. Okay, we'll leave that like that for now. And we'll say I'm gonna put just a little bit more, man.
For flavor.
Just a little more. You know, we got all this left over. We can add more later if we want to, or we can use this in our beans, and which won't be going in here because chili has no beans. Cover this baby, turn it down, and simmer it.
Use a pot holder.
And then it's going to eventually, when that meat is so tender that's just falling apart on your spoon, and its pieces have shrunk down, it's going to eventually be Texas red chili. It's going to be good.
It looks like you're wearing lipstick.
And how long is it?
Dad did his makeup in between
How long has it
shots.
been since you had any Texas red chili? That's too long. Okay, now this has been cooking really high for a few minutes, for a little while. I'm gonna turn it off for a while. You see these chunks of meat? You see how they've shrunk a little bit there, but they're not quite tender as I want them to be yet. But I'm gonna turn it off and let it sit in this hot cast iron pan. We'll probably turn it off for an hour or so, and then we'll turn it back on slowly and just, slowly cook it back. This way, all these meat and flavors can blend together without burning the meat, without disintegrating it too much. So it'll just kind of sit in here and meld together for a little while. Then we'll start it back up and we'll finish cooking it. But this is the rest period. This is where the chili maker goes and does whatever it does to make him happy. This has been off the stove for about an hour or so. It's been sitting, and this meat is tender, but it could cook a little longer. But it's not all. Everything's just had a chance to gently blend together. See, it's still nice and warm and hot. I'll be putting it back on soon, and just cooking it on real low until that meat's just real super tender. Yeah, right now it's just still needs to cook just a little bit. This way, it's been sitting off in this cast iron. It's been plenty hot, just like a crock pot or something. But look at that rich broth. That's what chili is supposed to look like. There's no tomatoes in there. That's just meat and all the other good stuff. Lots of chili peppers. Chili peppers, not tomatoes, chili peppers. And tomatoes don't go in chili, and neither do beans. Texas red chili. Well, we have our chili here that we made. Now Santa Claus came overnight and ate about half of it, but this is. But we caught him. There you go.